Hey everyone, hang on, let me just fix this. There we go. Hey, hi, how's everybody doing? Are we all okay? Do you know, it always kind of throws me off. So Simon and Jen, if you're here, you guys will have noticed that when you do the countdown or when you do like a startup video sequence, for some reason the volume starts coming out of like random speakers in your computer, or it does for me. And maybe I'm particularly noticing it because I use this. So normally I hear everything through this. Like if I'm on live with people and they're speaking, everything comes through the earphone. But for some reason, when I hit that countdown, my computer speakers start like singing at me, and it always throws me off. I'm always like, oh shit, what have I done wrong? But it's not. It's just what it happens. Anyway, it wouldn't be one of my lives if I didn't start off with a random useless bit of information with it. How are we all? Has everybody got a suitable cuppa? I've got a cup of decaf tea because it's after 7 o'clock and I can't handle having normal tea at this time. Otherwise I'll be up all night. Let's see who's here. I've got lovely Jamie who's here first. She says it's snowing like crazy and I need some Chris time. Well, you've got me, my lovely Jamie. How are you doing? Are you working today? I've got lovely Sandra here from the Whispering Well. She says hi to Chris and Jamie. I've got tiny trinkets and taro. It's snowing here too, Jamie, but not too bad. We sure got dumped on Tuesday though. Yeah, do you know, see this week, our weather's actually heated up a wee bit. So last week we had like 8 inches of snow. I'm not even kidding you on, it was really bad. And then it was on Monday, it just disappeared, like overnight, it just gone, it went through, because I had my niece on Monday and I was like looking out over the weekend and thinking, great, into the back garden, we've still got like loads of snow, she can go out and build a snowman and have fun. And then on Monday morning, when she came over and we looked out the window, it was all gone. So there you go. Tiny Trinkets and Taro, Angela is your name, right? I'm going to try and remember that. Robin's here. What's Robin saying? He says, hi everybody, just taking a short break from Joanna Lumley's Home Sweet Home series, episode 1 on YouTube. It's very British. Are you enjoying it, Robin? Are you a Joanna fan? We've got, did I miss anyone there actually? I don't think I did. Laurie Meets Life, hi there. We've got lovely Debbie from Aquarius Owl. Simon's here. Hi Simon from the Hermit's Cave. How are you? Patrice. Hi Patrice. How are you? Sorsha. Hello Chris and Tribe of Cartman Sauce. Forgive me for not tagging. I'm doing quiet DIY work whilst listening. Just to say though that my skull ordered with a cactus brain to go inside is here. My skull ordered with a cactus brain to go inside is here. Is that something that I've maybe missed? I don't know what you mean, but it sounds cool. Kristen's here. Hi Kristen, how are you doing? I know you said in Corin stream that you're feeling a bit better today, so that was good. I hope you're still feeling okay. Lots and lots of hellos. Lovely Mendy's here. Hi Mendy. How are you doing? Mendy, I was talking to Justin about not your accent specifically, but just that kind of I think it's like a DMV thing, because I noticed when Justin was gliding me, I'm not betraying any confidence here, it's just a particular word. They say zone, but when you say the word zone, I'm going to try and do it. So you say zone. It's the way you say it, the way you say the O, you go zone or something like that. And I was like, Mendy does that. I was like, where is that from? Is that Maryland? Or, where is that? And he was laughing. So we've both been talking about accents all day, basically. But anyway, that was a random tangent, sorry. Simon said lovely scene, jumped on me, but hang on, whatever. Oh gosh, it jumped a fair bit there. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to find my way back. Okay, we hit Patrice. Love seeing these decks merged together. Yeah, I thought it said that. What decks? Or have I just missed something? Am I missing the boat tonight? Am I just out of the loop? Elaine from Celtic Roots Tarot. Do you say Celtic Roots or Celtic? I take it it's Celtic Roots. Because the only thing that I know that's pronounced Celtic is the football team. And I'm taking it your name's not for that. Jackie Jacaranda's here. Sorry, I'm making an absolute meal of this. Simon says I never tried it with a headset, so you probably not noticed any different. Simon's drinking Pepsi Max Cherry. It's your standard, isn't it? Your standard, I was going to say your standard tipple, but that's not a tipple. Robin's got espresso mocha with toasted cheese with bacon. I'm just making us jealous now, Robin. What did I have for dinner? Sandy made homemade chicken Kievs, and we had bang bang chicken with it as well because we had some left over from yesterday. It's a bit of a random combination, mind you, but it was actually really nice. I really enjoyed it. Angela's drinking plain old water. I wish I had a cup of something. I don't want to get one because then I'd have to leave all you lovely people. Oh, go get yourself a cup of tea, Kristen. Don't deprive yourself. You'd only be missing me trying to fumble my way through the people that are here, through the names. Hopefully I'm not missing anyone out. How many people here are from the UK? Me. I'm working right now, says Jamie. I hope it keeps snowing. My BFF/doctor I work for is out of town, so I don't have to leave the house. Snow motherfucker, snow. I can hear you saying that in my head, Jamie. Ben's here. Ben, how are you? It's lovely to see you here. He's just going to go and grab a cuppa. Lovely. Jackie's drinking diet cream soda. Oh, very fancy. It's you, madam. Do you know, cream soda is lovely with ice cream to make like an ice cream float. You ever tried that with cream soda? It's beautiful. Really, really nice. Listening to Radiohead. What is bangers and mash? It's jumped. Hey, I'm just going to look for orange guys, otherwise you know we're not on the again, right? So I've got my thumbnail, right? Whilst we were waiting, Deviant Moon, New Era, Lights, Ears. Do you know, I think I've done that for Quarren Stream, that picture was for, Simon. When I was making up when I made up a thumbnail for when I was covering Quarren Stream, because if you look at the card, I've picked specific cards for that. It's the only time I've ever done that, and it was cards that made me think of Quarren Stream. Like kind of, the time that we're in. So there might be cards like the Tower and stuff, but there's also like Temperance and the Sun, and Ten of Cups to represent all of us coming together. So that's the only one where I've actually been selective about what cards I put in there. Usually it's just like kind of spread them all out. Richard's here. Hi, Richards. I know the chat's jumped and I've probably missed some people that have come in. I can see Jonathan. Hiya, how are you? Elaine says, yeah, not like the football team, Chris. Yeah, I didn't think so. I thought I would check. Lovely. Well, is it Gerald? Have we got Gerald or have we got Tarot Sachet today? Tarot Stash is here. Howdy, everyone. I'm finishing my water now. See, I can imagine that in Tarot Sachet's voice. Howdy, everyone. It's Tarot Sachet. Can't beat bangers and mash. Brewed a special cuppa just for this, says Diane. Ooh, very fancy. Very nice. My phone's going. It's just messages. It can wait. Liminal Lark, hi, yeah. Says hi, Chris. Hello, everyone. Hi, Liminal Lark. How you doing? Simon says that's awesome, Chris. Oh, but the thingy, the picture. Ben's got a bowl of granola for me. That was a great impression. Oh, I'm glad you liked it. Ashley, hi Ashley, how are you? Can't tag, but honestly, sending love to all. I don't doubt that. That was a perfect impersonation. It's Tara Sachet. Anywho, there's just a couple of things that in the kind of banter and the chit chat section, part of our catch up. A couple of things that I actually wanted to cover. Apart from that, it's just going to be a catch up. If you particularly want to get my attention, then tag me if you can, because I've got the chat right in front of me here. So most of you will know that here in the UK it's LGBTQ plus History Month, LGBTQ plus History Month in February. So LGBTQ plus is short for LGBTQIA, and the A in that is short for, well, I think it's actually short for asexual, isn't it? But this week in the UK it's actually Aromantic Awareness Week. Aromantic Awareness Week. Or is it Aromantic? So I'm always kind of there's a fine line between raising awareness for something and yapping on about a story that really isn't yours to tell. All I really want to do, because I found out, a lot of this was new information to me, and I found it really interesting when I was reading about it. So I just thought I would go through some of the identities that people, identify with. Aromantic, right? Okay, I knew that it was abbreviated to Arrow. I wasn't sure how the full thing was said, but there we go. Aromantic. So yeah, obviously the point in these isn't to let the general public put identities on people. It's the point of this is to for people who tell us that they identify with these particular identities, it shows that we can understand, and know a bit more about them. That's why I'm doing this. So we've got the Aromantic Spectrum, or AroSpec for short. So that's the spectrum for romantic orientation sub-identities. It includes, but it's not limited to, Aro, Aroflux, demi-romantic, and grey romantic. People on the AroSpec, they can still have a range of sexual orientations, as you'd expect. So you could be gay and aromantic, or you could be straight and aromantic, or however you want to identify. But it's not uncommon for people who identify as Aro to identify as Aro Ace, and again I'll come on to say what that means. So aromantic, or Aro for short, ARO, it's the lack of romantic attraction or low or non-existent desire for romantic activity, or not feeling it in the standard way that many know and view romantic attraction. So it can be a lack of romantic attraction. It can be kind of, a kind of lower, dulled down, however you want to phrase it, or it can just be, in a way that's different from what, we would generally perceive as being romantic attraction. Aro people may have sexual desires and partners, but may not desire a relationship. And you'll notice that I keep saying the word may, because everyone's different. So one of the terms that we'll see, and I can see that Simon has said here, big up demisexuals. So demisexual is so you can correct me if I'm wrong here, by the way. So feel free to tag away and shout at me and let me know if you want to correct me, or just have a bit of discussion. But yeah, so demi-romantic is people who can experience romantic attraction, but typically it's only after they've formed a close emotional relationship or connection with someone. And Simon mentioned the term demisexual, so that's someone who can experience sexual attraction to someone, but only after only upon forming that close connection with someone else. Grey romantic. Now this is something that I hadn't, not a term that I had heard before. So this is people who experience limited romantic attraction, meaning they experience it infrequently or with very low intensity. And arrow flux is a term that means romantic orientation fluctuates, but generally stays on the aromantic spectrum. So may feel very strongly aromantic one day and not at all at other times. And then arrow ace is the last term. So I don't like going on and on and on. I just want to give a wee bit of information. Arrow ace is short for aromantic asexual, and this is people who identify as both aromantic and asexual. So they might not be interested in romantic relationships or sexual relationships, but will can still seek platonic companionship. So that was really all it was, guys. I just thought I read it and I thought it was really interesting. I wanted to share it because I'm all about kind of raising awareness and promoting diversity, inclusion, sharing the knowledge. The arrow spec, there's a couple of flags that represent the arrow spec. One of them, so generally you'll see the color green on both, and the logic behind that is green is the opposite color to red. Red being the color that we associate typically with kind of passion and love and romantic attraction and all that kind of thing. So that's why green is on there. White representing platonic and aesthetic attraction. Grey representing the grey areas between romantic and non-romantic attraction. And black, so it's just like kind of green and light green, it's the stripes. Black represents the sexuality spectrum or can represent the rejection of traditional ideas of romance. So if you go and Google the arrow spec flag, you'll see and know what the thinking behind the colours is. So yeah, that's my wee bit for Aromantic Awareness Week. So yeah, I hope that was interesting. And yeah, I just thought we could get a wee bit of chat going. So I can see that someone sees it as overthinking and pseudo-intellectualizing. So I'd say at the start, Dr. David, the whole point of me saying all of that, like I said, I'm not interested in trying to tell someone else's story. I'm not interested in trying to make it overly intellectual or anything like that. I'm just conscious that, we're going to come across people who will identify as these terms. This isn't for us to put labels on other people. This is so that if you meet someone and they say, I identify as ROS, then you'll know what they mean. Do you know what I mean? So it's really just about raising awareness. That's all it is. So, yeah. The other thing that I wanted to chat about was the Mary L kind of study project thing. So in one of the quarantine streams, I had mentioned that, at some point I would be quite keen to set up some sort of study thing on the Mary L. So the reason that's in my mind, the kind of aim with that, I'm conscious that with decks like, especially like Rider-Waite Smith, but Marseille as well, Thoth as well. You've got several books on all of these kind of decks and stuff, and you've got several kind of different sources of information. And generally, no matter what type of learner, no matter how you take in information, you'll probably be able to find a book on the Smith-Waite deck that gels with you, that explains it to you in a way that's, that makes sense to you. All right. On the other hand, for the Mary L, I'm conscious that unless I am ignorant and there's stuff out there that I don't know about, in which case, please do educate me. But I'm conscious that we don't really have that with the Mary L. We've got the Mary L guidebook, which, it is amazing. I mean, Marie White is clearly a really kind of intelligent person. She really knows inside out her stuff. But for me personally, I found a lot of it can be quite difficult to take in. It's not a book I would be able to just read cover to cover. It's probably one of those ones where I would need to kind of look at each, look at it as I pull the card type thing, if that makes sense. The idea that I'm not a writer and I've no intention of writing any books, but I wanted to kind of try and put together some sort of resource that breaks down the Mary L in a kind of, easy to understand, comprehensive way, kind of like what a load of books have done for the Smith-Waite and the Marseille. So that's the goal, that's the dream, and that's why I had mentioned it. So kind of the ideas that are floating about right now, it's, another kind of thing I would say is I'm not an expert. In fact, by no means am I in any way close to an expert on the Mary L. I can just about read with it. So any kind of study project, learning project is going to be a collaborative thing. It's going to be kind of a combined learning, everyone coming together and learning together. Unless anyone's aware of someone who is, an absolute authority on it and would be willing to kind of teach it, then it would be kind of all of us coming and learning together. The two main ways I can think that we can do that are either as like a kind of Zoom class, and another thing that I would say is I'm thinking monthly. Don't think that another weekly thing for all of us is, it's probably something I know that I certainly would probably start to not resent. I don't want to start kind of using the wrong words, but I think it would be a lot to put on us. But I'm thinking a monthly kind of study get together type thing is what I would be looking at, or what I would think would be ideal. So either a kind of Zoom get together, where if you're you all know what a Zoom study group's like, but it would run kind of like that. I'm kind of toying with the idea if I was to do it over Zoom, if we were to do it over Zoom, recording it and potentially, depending on if the attendants were comfortable with it, but recording it and putting it on on YouTube, so that it's like a resource that's there for everybody, regardless of whether you want to come to the Zoom or not. And the other option is YouTube Live. So like a monthly YouTube Live where we kind of So I'm thinking like whether it's YouTube or Zoom, we do like something like a 2-hour session. For the first hour, we take one card per session, and we break it down. We look at it in detail. We look at the symbolism on it. We look at the kind of meanings, you know. And I would probably be aiming to do it in order so as that we can kind of study the card for the month before, like on our own. We can like take our time to read the book, and you know, if you wanted to kind of look up symbols and stuff. I know I've got this book on symbols, this Taschen book, this one here, that's really good at kind of breaking down the kind of meaning of symbolism and stuff. And there's probably countless other resources like that as well. You know, we could kind of just break down the cards in that way. So do that for like say an hour or something, and then for the second hour maybe just like kind of do card pulls, like kind of take a random out of the blue question, you know, like I don't know, just a random made up question and pull 3 cards for it and then read. Do you know what I mean? So we would learn by studying, but we'd also learn by doing and reading. I think that's everything. I think that's me said everything that's going on in my head about it. I don't know when we would intend to start. I don't know if anybody's got any particular thoughts on, you know, on that. But let me catch up with the chat. So Jamie had to trudge outside, 5 inches of new snow. Mail call here. The Heartspun Tarot and the new Lonely Dreamer have arrived. Lovely. Very nice. Are we going to get walkthroughs, Jamie? Or flip throughs? Or maybe just tell us your favourite cards? We're going to get wee videos on them. What did Robin say? I'm ashamed to admit I suffer Goldilocks syndrome. There are those that I feel aren't good enough for me, then others that are too good for me. But I can't find the ones that are just right. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a that's a difficult thing for all of us. You know, it's you know finding. I always say, and you can kind of chip in and agree, disagree, or whatever. But I always say that you know finding finding a partner, if that's how you're inclined, what you're inclined to do, but finding a partner isn't meant to be an easy task, you know. You're 2 individuals, you know, and 2 individuals are very different people. And you're basically, you know, it's like trying to fit jigsaw pieces together, you know, you're trying to find that balance, that harmony. And you know, that it's never going to be an easy thing, I don't think. So I think I hear you, I get it. So what was it? Simon says, I hear you, Robin. The older I get, the more I realise how silly leagues are. So Sasha says Polly and Demi /AR sums my identity up in Hurry Jackie. Oh, thanks for sharing that, Sasha. That was really nice. That was really nice of you to say that. Jackie needs the Heartspun Tarot. It's so cute. Is that one that Elle got lately, or am I talking about ours? Caroline, somewhere in time, Tarot, hello. She says, sorry for being late. New York was hit with another snowstorm, so I had to go out and shovel. Don't worry about it. Are you okay? Have you got yourself a nice hot cuppa and you heating up okay? Right, Kathy says, yes, Marielle, I'm interested. Saoirse says, thanks for touching on it. I think it's really important. I think that was in regards to Aromantic Awareness Week. Mendy says, as a brand new Marielle user, I'm in, and monthly is turning out to be perfect for me for everything. Cool. Okay. The Mariel guidebook reads like a slightly tipsy PhD student at a party, a waving mush of mythologies. Giselle started a Merlin tarot study group, and that's what I'm currently focused on, says Jonathan. Cool. Mandy prefers Zoom. I think it's easier without a chat too. Okay. Jumped. I want to buy that book. Oh, I have that book. This is signed. Yeah, we'll discussing and acknowledging identities and sexualities that are underrepresented, denied, and looked down upon by our society that's based on supremacist, colonised perspectives, pseudo-intellectualising, question marks. Challenge me there. Did you see that? Just had to get that in. I like the idea of recorded Zoom deck study, says Robin. I've been thinking about that with my Byzantine tarot. I don't have the Mariel and it doesn't really speak to me yet. Wait, make an entrance careful. Sorry, right, okay, so Elaine says, love Mariel, I'm interested. Cool, okay, so I don't have the Mariel, but it's on the wish list, says Ish. Sue, I'll be interested in the Mariel study group, happy for Zoom recording. Okay, that's cool. Is there anyone who would far prefer, who wouldn't want to take part if it was like a Zoom? Who just prefers the medium of, the YouTube live and doing the comments, because it's a bit of a Marmite situation. The YouTube live. I think some people like just being able to kind of tune in via YouTube live and say what they want to say via the comments. Whereas I think some people feel restricted by the comments, and would rather it was kind of they were able to verbalise their view. So that's going to be very individual. So I'm interested in how people feel about that. Sandra might be interested in Mariel study group. I bought the deck again, but still haven't used it. Chris, does it make a difference what copy you have? I have the first edition only. Well, that's the only one that I've got, Caroline. So I would like to say no, it wouldn't make a difference. There's only a few cards that have changed really, and we can talk about both when we come to those cards. I think is probably the best way to approach that. So yeah, somebody said they don't have the Mariel. That was Naomi. I think a monthly Zoom group where we look at a few cards each month would be great. It's working really well with our rune study group. Cool. I was thinking one card, but we would need to play it by ear to see. It depends on how long it takes to discuss and break down and study that one card. Simon prefers YouTube live. The Stash is interested in the Mariel study group. I haven't read with it yet. Okay. Laurie tries live. I have a feeling I wouldn't connect either. So not sure if I'd get it or if I would just listen in the group. Oh, sorry, that was Naomi that said that too. Laurie tries live. Sorry, I'm going into a bit of a brain fog. Okay, Elaine prefers Zoom because chat is a nightmare for typing. Right, okay. I love to study the Mariel too. She's tarot stuff. Maybe I should re-get the deck. The mission of mythology is created in my brain. No. Okay. I think only 2 or 3 cards were changed. Yeah, I think you're right. I know that the High Priestess, the Hierophant, Judgment, 3 of Swords. So there are 4 cards I can think of right away that have been changed. Someone can let me know if I could hear that those cogs turning. Was that when I was trying to read out your comment? Yeah, L was the Hearts one. Cool. So sorry, Mendy, I read out half your comment there. I hope it doesn't matter because I only have the 2nd edition. So yeah, like I said, no, it's only like 4 cards I can think of. So I would imagine we would just want to talk about the different versions. So let's see, Simon, with a YouTube live, there's one person speaking. I find Zoom gets noisy and distracting and can get monopolised. Okay, cool. Okay, I suppose yeah, we would see how it plays out. I think as long as someone kind of manages, and even if it's not a case of me teaching or managing the learning, I'd be happy to manage the the opportunities to speak and that kind of thing. But it's the kind of thing that we can, I'm not going to know until we try. What would you say is the system behind the Mediail? Is its own type? So Jonathan, yeah, I would say I could be quoted as being saying in the past it's a Marseille. It's like an illustrated Marseille. I think when you read the guidebook, she says that it is essentially a system of its own. It's meant to take from all of them, from bit of Thoth, bit of Marseille, and a bit of Smithwaite. So yeah, I think it's a bit of a mishmash. It's made its own bona fide system. I love Zoom. I have repetitive strain injury that makes constant typing painful, says Kristen. Laurie, the first edition. Yeah, okay. Tend to prefer YouTube lives too, says Elle. I tend to prefer video as I find it hard to make myself understood in chat sometimes, says so. So Laurie Tries Live says, I would come to try to connect to it. Angela says, I vote YouTube Live as well. One person acts as moderator, says Robin, but not opposed to Zoom, says Angela. The new board, 4. So there's 4 cards change, yeah. So was that the ones that I had named in? Do you have an Instagram? I do, but I don't use it for like tarot stuff, and I'm kind of in the tarot closet. So I mean, you can add me on Instagram. I can't even remember what my username is. No objection to anyone adding me. But I don't post anything tarot related or anything. I should maybe make an elemental cartomancy Instagram, to be fair. Christian says, get someone who's willing to tell certain people to stop talking. Shadowed Woodland's here. Good morning. Good morning, Shadowed Woodland. It's lovely to see you. The creator was on Tarot Maps channel doing an interview way back, says Deanne. Yeah, I remember seeing that. I actually really enjoyed it. She says it's its own system drawn from many things. Yes, make Mendy tell people to shut up, problem solved. Mendy, you're making a name for yourself, love. Sounds like we'll need 2 separate study groups, says Kristen. Oh, YouTube and thingy. On YouTube Live, everyone can get a turn to speak. Or is it more like a lecture with one speaker? Definitely wouldn't intend for it to be like a lecture, Robin. I don't know if I should be flattered or insulted as to how quickly you'll agree that I can tell people to shut up. Elsie, seen as it's mentioned on a YouTube live with more folk interested than is allowed on Zoom, it sounds more accessible to all to do it via YouTube. I suppose that's a good point. We have a referee, says Caroline. Could you not do it in the style of Playdate? Yeah, as in a YouTube live. So yeah, that's one of the options on the table. That's one of the kind of things that I'm trying to think about. I think the problem we've got is like people. The impression that I'm getting is that people that would either far prefer a Zoom or far prefer a YouTube live. So it's a bit of a difficult one, isn't it? So YouTube is text responses only. Yeah, Robin. Yeah, so yeah, it would be like a YouTube live where you chat like we're doing now. Richard's here. Hi, Richard. I've actually reached the bottom of the chat. I love Zoom because then I can talk to all of you, says Kristen. That's true. Oh. Right, well, I don't know if we really made any, if there was really any decisions made there. I think that's just, I should say that I'm happy with whatever you decide. Cool. Hi, Mr. Chris. Yeah, Laurie says Instagram live, you can add a person, then finish, then another. Robin likes the Zooms because everyone gets to have a turn to share their thoughts. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Laurie, I know what you mean, yeah. With Instagram lives. That would be that's a different kettle of fish altogether. Okay. Well, we'll have a think. I'll maybe put some sort of poll on maybe the Barely Balanced group or something. I'll put something somewhere to kind of ascertain what would be the actual preference. Just from my quick kind of my impression from looking at the responses, it looks as though more people would prefer Zoom over YouTube, but I could be wrong there. Sue says I think we'll need to call it. Yeah, put me on the spot. Is the Zoom version replayable with access to anyone interested after the event? Like, yeah, Jackie. So, my intention, and obviously that this would have to be kind of subject to the, that everyone on the Zoom is happy with us. But the intention would be for me to record the Zoom meeting and put it on YouTube. I don't know if any of you follow Vincent Petici, but he has like a monthly, every second Tuesday, he has like a Zoom kind of catch up thing, and he records them, and he puts it on his YouTube channel, just uploads it as it's essentially like a pre-recorded video. In fact, we've seen Justin do it. Justin did it with his interview with Rachel. So Justin's interview with Rachel was a Zoom meeting essentially that he recorded and then uploaded as a video on YouTube. So that would be the kind of that would be what I would do there. So it would be accessible to everyone, absolutely, but obviously it just means that if I was doing it that way, people who were watching it back on YouTube wouldn't actually be able to interact unless we did it as a premiere. But a 2-hour premiere when we've already been in one meeting, that might feel like over-egging it a wee bit. I don't know. So Robin's got an idea. Could you record a Zoom and then debut it as a? That's what we're on the same wavelength, Robin, and debut it as a premiere for chatters. That way you can get the best of both worlds. It's an idea that, like I say, I don't know if it was just. I don't know if that's just over egging the pudding a wee bit. I don't know if that's overdoing it, but Barely Balanced has a lot of Zoom members, so their response may be impartial. I'm being devil's advocate. It's totally your call. Yes, she does. So Laurie Tries Life says there is a YouTuber, Elliot Sacred Seed, who does a real good intro to Marielle. Yeah, absolutely. And I would encourage anyone who wants to kind of start learning about the Marielle to go and check out Elle's videos. So she basically covers the ace through to 10 of the 4 suits. She does the wands and one video on the wands and swords, ace through 10, and one video on the cups and discs, ace through 10, and they are fantastic. So yeah, definitely. I would definitely encourage you to watch that. Jonathan, I do Zoom meetings for my clients and record the meeting and post unlisted on my YouTube channel. A 2-hour premiere might as well go live, says Simon. Yeah. Then Chris has to go through it twice. I mean, if it's only monthly, then that wouldn't really bother me. Do you know what I mean? If it was weekly, then you know, I don't think I would be doing 2-hour sessions every week. You know, I think that would get a bit much, and Sandy might feel a bit neglected. But the playback Zoom on YouTube, viewers can contribute down in the comments section. I find the comment sections are not used to their full capacity. That's where the conversation continues, says Angela. Sandra would prefer a YouTube live. So it sounds like we do a Zoom and then Chris will play it as a premiere, says Kristen. Okay. Well, I don't want to beat that to death to the point where we're all sick of Marielle study group before it's even become a thing. But Laurie Tries Life, have you got a day job, Chris? Yeah, I do. I work 40 hours a week, so I do, in my muggle job. So yeah, I've very much got a day job. So yeah, anyone fancy a reading? I have got my good old Light Seers Tarot out. I thought I don't think I've used it on one of my own readings lives, or if I have, I've not done it for such a long time. Oh, just seen Jilly come in. She says, "Hi all, sorry my internet is still wonky slow." Hello, lovely internet. Hello, lovely Jilly. And do you know, my phone now predicts your name whenever I write the word gorgeous. So it does like my predictive text, because I always say, "Hey, gorgeous Jelly." So now, you know, I have my predicted words come up at the top of my keyboard. I just need to write "hey" and then like GORG, and it predicts gorgeous, and then it predicts Jelly. So how's that? Some people prefer not to be on screen, so they probably would not attend Zoom. Yeah, that's true, Jackie. Laurie tries out, do you do medical type readings? To be honest, I would rather stay away from that. You know, it really depends on the nature of it. You know, if it's something where you should be, you know, that you should really be going to your doctor for, then, you know, I'd prefer not to cover that kind of thing. I mean, you can ask a question, but I might not be able to answer it for you, lovely Laurie. Yeah, it just depends on the question, you know. I don't like to kind of put hard and fast rules on it, because I think it's the kind of thing where we can go with our gut and use our own kind of ethics and stuff on. What do the cards want me to know right now? Says Kristen. Was that my first question? what do the cards want Kristen to know right now? Should probably swap these around so you can actually see something there. So, just send me a question. Right. So we've got the 5 of Cups, Kristen. I've got the 10 of Swords. So. And we've got the Queen of Pentacles. They want you to know that, you know, you're going through some shit right now. The advice is actually to kind of look up and see the sunrise. It's difficult because we've got the 5 of Cups there. The 5 of Cups for me is about, you know, being true to your own feelings, about giving yourself that time to just be in your feelings, have your feelings. Don't tell yourself, oh, you know, why am I feeling like this? You know, whether it's kind of physically or emotionally, mentally, whatever it is, you know, we've got this tendency to be really harsh on ourselves whenever we react badly to a situation, but sometimes that's just how we need to react. That, you know, we're human and we need to have those responses. We need to get through that process, and we should give ourselves that time. So the 5 of Cups kind of says that to me. It's about, you know, where you are right now. It might be just about purely giving yourself that time, giving yourself that headspace, or, you know, giving yourself that time to recover. You know, depending on how you take this, you know, and what you take this to pertain to. 10 of Swords, you know, don't stay in that negative space past its sell-by date, past its usefulness. Okay, so, you know, our feelings are useful, even the negative ones, but don't stay in it like unnecessarily. Don't stay in it too long past when you've learned what you can learn from it. It's time to move on. It's time to look up, see that sunrise, and move on. And look what you're moving on into. Look at this gorgeous, amazing Queen of Pentacles. You know, this kind of real, you know, Empress energy, Empress Tarot. You know, the Queen of Pentacles is this kind of protective, you know, she looks after those around her. She forms these close, real, tangible connections, you know. She's the Pentacles, she's Earth, you know, and she cares about the people that she's around, and everyone looks up to her. So she's just that kind of amazing, yummy kind of energy, and that's where you're going, that's where you're heading, that's what you're kind of coming into. It's just about kind of navigating this kind of perhaps negative space that we see here. So I don't know if that was in any way helpful or if that's just confused you even more, but the thing that I want you to focus on is what you're, you know, once you're kind of moving past the negativity, this is what you're moving into, this amazing Queen of Pentacles. Okay? So I think that's what they want you to know, Kristen, and they want you to know that you're amazing. Jelly's blushing. Robin wants to know how to go about finding a man, right? So if you can try and I can see like there's a bunch of questions here, but try and tag me so that it highlights to me. Because I just don't want to miss anyone. If I do miss anyone, you can just shout at me and tell me anyway, it's fine. Should probably move this over to the comments, so let's try and highlight people's comments. Tarot Stash says she is amazing, Chris. She has a gift. Tarot Sachet told her that yesterday. I bet she did. Oops. Okay, I want to know how to find Robin in the hand. So the main thing in this is going to be the advice card, but first let's have a wee look at the situation for you, Robin. You've got the Magician. That's not a bad card to have, and everything's at your disposal. Do you know what I mean? You've got what you need. There's nothing actually that you need that you don't already have in your arsenal. I guess it's just about you being able to recognise that you have those gifts, and at the end of the day, you can only find the person that's right for you. If you're going to try and find someone who's right for the person that either you think you should be or you want to be, then you're probably going to really struggle. So just be yourself and be confident in yourself and be proud of who you are, is what I would say. So we've got a kind of choice type card here. We've got the Two of Swords coming in, and now, Robin, I think a long time ago I might have read for this same question for you. You can correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm pretty sure we had an equally kind of intellectual type card coming in as the advice card, if I'm remembering the situation correctly. It's funny because I often think, usually with the Two of Swords, if you think about the Smith way, we see the expanse of water behind the person. It's like, to me, that's really like kind of putting your emotions to one side and really, I mean, the swords are an intellectual suit. Do you know what I mean? It's that suit that's all about the mind, and quite often what it's asking us to do when we're journeying through the swords, it's about learning to not completely kind of shove our emotions down and deny them. It's not that. It's just like knowing how to balance between thought and logical reason thought and our emotions, and how to kind of achieve that balance. And maybe it's a bit of a struggle between those two things for you. Maybe that's what we're seeing here in the two. And it's just about kind of, like I say, trying to achieve that balance. It's all about balance, so it is. You've got the Ace of Pentacles coming in for your outcome there. So again, that's another nice card, and it's quite promising that there is something new on the horizon for you, or at least there can be if you want to kind of see it through. Pentacles, as I say, it's not a guaranteed success. It's not promise for, you're going to make all your dreams come true. It's a seed. It's a kind of that initial spark. You really need to work at it to be able to kind of turn it into something special. So the power is completely in your hands to be able to do that. You're maybe just going to have to find a bit of inner peace and a bit of balance between your thoughts and your emotions, and that can be that can be a task both ways. Some of us are too much in our head, and we overly kind of intellectualize things, and that can affect our emotions. Some can react rather than respond. So you're coming from an emotional place, and you're not putting yourself across, in a calculative way. You're not thinking about what you're doing, what actions you're taking. So it's all about trying to achieve that balance, is what I'm trying to say. But you've got everything you need, and there is some promise there for you. There is some potential. So yeah, hopefully that was helpful, Robin. So, what are the pros and cons of a Mary L study group on Zoom or YouTube? Joke. Yeah, I mean, I think there's always going to be pros and cons to these things, isn't there? So, Debbie, I would like a reading, general reading for the weekend. Sure. Let's see if we can do 4 cards, but do it a wee bit more quick fire. I'll try and not ramble as much as what I do usually. He says, Robin says, that's helpful, but I think I need to have a private reading with you so there can be more of an intensive dialogue. That's fine. Just give me a shout if you ever want to do that. That's fine. I'm happy to. Right, okay. What was the question again? A general reading for the weekend. Strengths, Page of Pentacles. So we're coming into, you know, something new. It's maybe starting to learn something new, or kind of just apply yourself to something that you've not yet approached. And you know that is looking really good for you. What seems to be in the weakness position is the King of Wands. Well, what is in the weakness position is the King of Wands. That to me talks about having that balance between when to kind of sit back and oversee things and act like a king, and when to take that action that we associate with the fire of the wands. So the King of Wands for me is always kind of achieving that balance. The king is the master of that balance. Do you know what I mean? He's the king. He's achieved everything that he needs to achieve in that regard. He knows when it's time to kind of sit back in his throne, oversee the kingdom and rule, and he knows when he needs to kind of jump in there and get his hands dirty, because he's not a king that likes to be kind of just like kind of sitting back all the time and letting somebody else do the work. He likes to be involved, and there's maybe a bit of a difficulty here, balancing when to take action and when not to take action. So maybe have a think about that over the weekend. There's a particular task or something. If this Page of Pentacles resonates with you in any way whatsoever, this could even be a person, this could be someone you're going to be dealing with over the weekend. But if the Page of Pentacles, if you know what that's meaning, then have a think about when you're acting and when you're kind of sitting back and, being passive. When are you active and when are you passive? That's, asset, you've got the Six of Wands. So you've got this kind of interchangeable, this exchange of energy that we usually see with the Six of Wands, this amazing, juicy, yummy interchange of energy, because the Six of Wands is that victory card. The energy exchange is mutually beneficial. We associate it with, we see it here, if I can hold the card a wee bit closer, I know we kind of mainly just see the victor there, the person who's been cheered on, but I think, yeah, so it's really hard to see. You can kind of see the kind of the white outlined hands here that are kind of clapping and cheering, and the way that this card works, the Six is about harmony, and this is the harmony between her being cheered, her getting that energy from the crowd, and the crowd getting that energy back from her. They're energized and they're happy they're living vicariously through her, and her achievements. So that's an asset for you, all right? The opportunity to have that energy exchange. So hopefully this is making sense. And so you get 3 Wands cards. So your opportunity is the Knight of Wands, and that's to really, really kind of use that energy. The Knight of Wands is the fire of fire. The King of Wands is the air of fire. So the King is introducing that air, introducing that aspect of control. The Knight is just all about kind of, firing on all cylinders, using that energy, that massive amount of energy that you've got. It's about using it. So that's the opportunity you've got. Again, the King is kind of telling you, like, still be thinking about when you're using that energy and when you're being passive, when you're maybe regenerating. Always thinking about the balance, which is our asset, but the opportunity there to achieve great things, and that Knight of Wands is amazing. So yeah, go for it. A big fiery weekend for you, and I hope that it goes amazing, whatever it is that you've got on, Debbie. Justin Michael's here. Hi Justin, how are you? Let me see if Debbie said anything. Okay, Debbie, you can let me know. Oh, there you go. Sounds like an amazing weekend. Well, I hope that it is. Right. Gerald, I think, said, will you pick cards for my next tarot writing prompts? Of course I will. How many cards do I pick, Gerald? I've got at the bottom of the comments here on the StreamYard chat, so if you can let me know what I need to do, like, is it just pulling cards? Do you want me to read them, and how many? Finally getting to celebrate my birthday this weekend if the weather holds out. Well, I hope you have an amazing birthday celebration. You can pick as many as you want. Oh gosh, right, okay. Well, we go for a 3-card reading then. I'll be doing the writing prompts too, so think of me too. So do you all use the same card? Just pick, you don't need to read them. Right, okay. Cool. So, go 3 cards for you then. So, what have you got? You've got the 8 of Wands, 7 of Pentacles, and the 6. 8, 7, 6, Wands, Pentacles, Cups. Yes! How good is that? That's so satisfying to me. I did maths at uni, so patterns like that really I really enjoy them. So there you go, those are your cards, guys. That's kind of weird, isn't it? So you've got this kind of calming down, this decline of energy, and the movement from the the fire to the earth to the water. It's like this kind of fluctuation. So yeah, there you go. Hope to do you put your writing prompts on YouTube, don't you? So I'll see what you write about them. Let's see. What is the best thing I can do right now to better my health? Says Laurie. I'm happy to read for that. So, okay, situation with the 10 of Swords. So you're feeling a wee bit done in, basically. Feeling like you've been through hell. 10 of Swords does have that kind of, it is this renewal of the cycle. And quite often we look and we see we just think that Smith weight 10 of Swords for the person lying on the ground. If we let ourselves linger in that energy, if we let ourselves stay in that energy, then it can feel like that. It can feel like we're just like kind of just done. That's it, finito. But there's let's just try and get our words out here. But we do see that sunrise in the card. We see the person, they're moving on, they're putting their pain behind them. It's not that they're completely over it, It's not that they're shoving it down and they're pretending it didn't happen. They're wearing it proudly, and they've taken the learnings from it and they're moving forward into the new sunrise. Okay, so your advice card, you've got the 5 of Swords, so that almost feels like taking some steps back, doesn't it? And taking some steps back into what would seem to be quite a negative space. And maybe it's just about kind of re-examining some of this stuff. Maybe there is still some stuff to learn before we're ready to kind of properly move forward confidently into that sunrise. Maybe there's still, for goodness sake, I really do apologise. I'm sorry, guys. I'm losing my ability to speak. But maybe there are still some learnings that we can take from what's happened. So you're talking about your health, yeah. And I don't, I'm conscious in this kind of forum. I don't really want to get you to start divulging lots of information. But in whatever way it is that you're affected, with health, physical, mental, emotional, whatever it is, when we experience kind of any issues in life, generally the way that we kind of deal with them in the healthiest way is to get to the root cause of it, and unravel it and deal with it. Now that can be a really painful process, and I would never just sit here and say that's what you need to do. You need to unravel that, because that's a process that, depending on what it is we're looking at, who it is, that everyone's an individual and deals with things differently. That's a process that can take a long time. But given that we're dividing by two, do you know what I mean? We're halving the energy here. We're halving that intellectual energy. We're taking ourselves back to a space, and it looks as though we're kind of getting into the nitty-gritty, maybe of just some of it, So this seems to want you to get back and take another look. You've got the Ace of Wands coming out at the end though, which is quite positive. The Ace of Wands is that kind of new spark, that new feeling of being energized, that new energy and being injected into the situation. So there is some promise there. I'd said earlier on when I was reading that Ace of Pentacles, it's something that needs to be worked on. An ace is never a promise of complete success. The ace is not the happily ever after card. The ace is like the kind of turning the corner card and starting on a kind of newer journey. And what's nice here is we're going from 10 to 1 or 10 to ace, and we've got a 5 in the middle, so it's actually quite a symmetrical reading, but there's definitely the opportunity, and you're on the right track to achieving that kind of renewed feeling of energy. But just, it's an ace. Work on it. Build it. Build that fire. Build that energy, and make something of it. So yeah, hopefully that helped. Oh, right. Lovely Henry is here. Hi Jen, how are you? How are you doing? Still some chat about Zooms and stuff like that. Chat's just jumped, which isn't ideal. Questions. Oh, I'm quite far behind, sorry guys. Where was I? So Kristen was talking about the Queen of Pentacles, so I'm back to when I was reading for Kristen. People are saying hi to Hen. You're making me blush. Which card says stop being so picky? Deanne's keeping me right with the readings. Thank you, Deanne. So Robin, Debbie, Gerald, Laurie. So I've done them. I'm going to hang back, guys. I'm having to refresh every time I type a message. No worries, Jelly. But hope you're doing okay. It's always lovely to see you. She's amazing, Chris. She has a gift. Tarot Sachet told her that yesterday. I think I covered that comment earlier on when I did the reading. Sorry. Try and not let the chat jump. Okay, Mandy, which of my current writing projects should I give my time to? The one that's personal or the one that's practical? Well, let's just pull a card for each then, shall we? Well, a general, situation card, and then we will pull a card for each project, and we'll see what one has the more positive outlook. Oh, wow. Did the Ten of Cups flipped around there randomly in the deck, Mandy? worse and worse at shuffling as time goes on, do you know that? Right, Wendy. So you got the Three of Cups there. So that talks about like kind of building those connections and working on those connections that have been built. It's quite a an emotional card. It's quite a creative, and what's the word that I'm trying to think about? Intuitive? No. Anyway, it's quite a creative card. There's a lot of creative energy in there, and obviously with that 3, we've got that growth and expansion. Let's have a look. So first of all, what did you say? First you said personal, and then you say practical. So we're going to go personal, practical. Because under the personal one, we've got this death and rebirth card, which suggests that there needs to be a big change. There needs to be a complete kind of wipe the slate clean, an overhaul. Whereas the practical one, you've got the Empress there. You've got that nurturing energy. That again, that 3, that's relating to the overall purpose. Suppose 3, 13, 3. Anyone? Does that please anyone else? Is it just me? Like, are we not getting like great cards tonight? With all that fire and the initial reading, with the 8, 7, 6. Nah, sorry, and then 10, 5, and 1. Anyway, so yeah, I would say go for the practical one, to be honest. So that would be my advice, and that's the kind of logic behind it. I think there needs to be a change made to the personal one. And the practical one seems to be the one to kind of encourage to grow. It seems to be the one that's got the kind of most potential for growth from where it is, rather than having to kind of start again. So Mendy, I hope that helped. It just reaffirms it for you. Oh, that's good. Oh, sorry, I've just seen you said I don't need another card. Well, hopefully, you said it reaffirms it, so yeah, hopefully that just kind of rehashed the same message and didn't give a completely different one. Okay. So Caroline definitely just went through a tower moment recently. Could you do a quick reading to see what's ahead? Well, I'm sorry to hear that you're going through a tower moment. Let's see what the cards have got to say to you about what's ahead. Situation, the world. You've said that you're going through a tower moment, but where you are just now, the situation that you're in, the space that you're in, the world, is an amazing card. Depending on what book you read, you might hear that this is the best card in the pack. It is a card of renewed energy. It's this kind of change. It's 21 and 2 and 1 is 3 and all that kind of jazz, and I suppose 3 from that point of view, you are kind of you're building up. Once you've been through a tower moment, the trick is to go through that salvage process. Don't completely walk away from what's happened, because you might be able to salvage some of that wreckage. All right, it's not about denying and shutting off from what's happened. It's about kind of working through it. Okay, so you do get that idea of growth, and when we kind of zoom back out and look at the way the world, the way it is, the world is kind of, I look at the Fool and the world as being removed. You've kind of got the 1 through 10 and the 11 through 20, and then you just kind of have the Fool and the world kind of sitting on the outside. They're kind of like the same but completely different, the Fool and the world. The world is the Fool who is kind of coming back round again, coming back round, having learned everything that they've learned so far. Maybe what it's saying is it might feel like a tower moment, but in actual fact, you're a lot more developed than that. This is a world moment. Although it feels like a tower moment, you're in this space where you're ready to start a new chapter. with all of this amazing knowledge and all of this experience that you've already got along the way. Okay, so you're in a really good starting position. That's quite positive to see. It's maybe just about getting going, because we've got that Eight of Swords there, and that's about the feeling of being trapped. It's kind of like eights are like stability and movement kind of feeding off each other. And you know, we see that happen in positive ways, like in the Eight of Wands, but in the Eight of Swords, quite often what we're looking at is it can be so kind of you can feel so, stable's the wrong word, trapped. Do you know what I mean? Stability is brilliant, but when you're too stable, you're trapped. You can feel so trapped that your head, the energy up here is going bananas. So it is, you know, there's very, very high mental energy, which is, you know, it's an 8. We're quite high energy here. We're high up in the suit. And it's that feeling of being trapped that leads to that. But if you look at the picture, she's not actually, it's her perception of the situation. She's not actually trapped the way she feels that she is. It's just how that this person is perceiving it. So maybe this is her in her world moment, and this is her looking at herself in the mirror, and she's seen a tower moment. So you told me I've just gone through a tower moment. I say to you, could it be that you're actually in the world? You've gone through a judgment moment and you're now in the world. Just a thought. And you've got the Seven of Pentacles kind of as your outcome card. And again, it's about looking at your situation. It's about really assessing it, really kind of seeing everything as it is in the most practical sense, because Earth, Pentacles, you know, talking about the material world, we're talking about practicality. So really kind of assessing what the situation is, looking at, you know, is this the right time to act? Do I need to wait a bit longer? I say it's, you know, it's time to get that world on, and it's time to act. You know, you've spent enough time looking in this mirror. It's time to get up and get going. But really, you're the only one that can know that. And in order to know that, you're going to have to kind of really consciously, practically assess. When you think you're done, assess a bit more. So hopefully that helped, Caroline. So we have Debbie, Gerald, Laurie, and Caroline. Amazing. Thanks so much, Deanna. I really appreciate it. It kind of gives me a wee bit of assurance that I'm keeping myself right and I'm not missing people out. Leanne, that's Liminal Lark, isn't it? Sorry, Leanna, Leanda. Sorry, I didn't remember your name. I'm kind of getting used to marrying up channel names with people's names. Let's see if we've got anything else. So I'm reading your comment, Caroline. Well, listen, I'm so sorry to hear all that. Really explains that Eight of Swords then, maybe, that feeling of being trapped. And, you know, I'm glad that you're finding yourself in a place where you're able to kind of move on from that situation. And, you know, we're here for you if you need us. So, yeah, I'm sorry, and I hope that things will start to get better soon. So that was where Robin says he thinks he would need a private reading. I remember seeing that before. Skimmed. Ah, that's where Justin came in. I lost track of time today. Sorry, I'm late. Don't worry. It's always lovely to see you. Aaron says, Robin, when you're good, you're good. When you're bad, you're better. Oh, that's amazing advice. Depending on the situation, I guess. Actually, I shift roles at work on Monday. What do the cards have to say regarding that change? No, it wasn't Zoom Monday, it was Zoom. I can't really do it properly now because I'm thinking too much about it, but Zoom. And we weren't making fun of you. She's mixing, Justin. She's been a wee mixer. Stirring the pot. Cards are flipping around on me like nobody's business. That's what I get for not paying attention to lovely issue. So what do they have to say about your change on Monday? Let's have a look. 10 of Cups, it's a change, yeah. You know, you're coming to the end of one situation and the start of another, but it looks really positive, to be honest with you. And that Two of Swords coming up again. So yeah, 10 of Cups is like kind of associated with being that really kind of happy, positive card. You know, we've kind of achieved. You've achieved what you need to achieve from the first roll. From the first situation, that's not really going to serve you anymore. So it's probably, you know, the change is probably quite a positive thing to happen. You know, sometimes when we kind of sit in certain roles for too long, they can feel stale to us. You know, we need a bit of novelty injected back into the situation. So it's always good when you get the opportunity to move on like that. Especially when you're in a position where you've done what you need to do. You know, it's always good to kind of roll with that change. And I know that's easy for me to say, really not easy for me to do. I'm one of these very resistant to change people, let me assure you. So I'm saying all this, I'm a complete hypocrite. So yay for being hypocritical, eh? Advice, we've got the Four of Pentacles. So, I mean, it's about being stable and being careful about your kind of, I would encourage you to be careful about your finances. You know, that's the kind of situation where you kind of need to be careful about your material world. Make sure that you're still kind of keeping things ticking. The Four is about that stability. You know, it can sometimes look a bit like miser. It can look as though she's been a bit stingy. And sometimes if we hold on too tightly to things for fear of losing them, just because we want to have them, sometimes that leads to us not nourishing enough. And if we think about, you know, if you were to try and clasp on to this initial role, your current role, then, you know, just for fear of the flux, just for fear of the change, then you might end up in this situation where you're not properly kind of nourishing. You're not the Four of Pentacles. I always like to kind of use the analogy of the kind of you know, the investments, the financial investments analogy. Like if you keep your money in just a general bank account because you want it to be accessible and you're scared to enter into any risk with it, then sure, it's going to be there and it's going to be accessible, which is cool, but you're not going to gain anything. It's about kind of managing that risk. It's about doing that risk assessment and managing that risk. You know, and when you invest, I think it's, you know, you would have your savings over different levels of risk and all that kind of thing, depending on how you want it to grow. But that's investments, that's the analogy. But how does that apply to real life? Well, so that's the change in role and the kind of change that it's going to require from you. It's definitely go with it. Keep yourself safe, you know, don't take unnecessary risks. But there does have to be a certain amount of kind of diving into it and just throwing yourself in there. Don't try and kind of hang back just for fear of the change. There's going to be a bit of a decision coming up, and that Two of Swords there. Again, Two of Swords, generally we're looking at weighing up the options, looking at it in an intellectual way, consciously. Pros and cons lists are are kind of associated with the Two of Swords, you know, you might find yourself faced with a decision where you maybe have to choose between the two, or maybe the kind of new role is going to take you, kind of present different options to you. Just make sure that you're taking the emotions out of it, or maybe not necessarily completely out of it, but don't be ruled by them. And kind of lead with that very logical, intellectual process. And that's going to be your way forward there, I think. So hopefully that helps. Robin's taking a cookie break, I've just seen that. Loading Wendy, Charlie Nishi, still on track. So I think we caught Caroline's question, yeah. Gerald, yes, I'm using the lights here. Sorry, I've just seen your question. Yeah, this is my favourite deck. This is my soul deck. This is my deck that I connect with the most, and it feels like it's just an extension of me at this point, to be honest with you. So yeah, this is my good old light seers. Oh, Mandy, thank you. The odds. I forgot about that actually. I'll use them all in one video because there are no rules. Cool. I look forward to seeing it. There's another word that you said with an accent, and now I can't remember it. Zune. Oh, did he sign the how are you? Is Caleb about it? Tell him I said hi if he is. Hope you're doing okay. Although, what time is it? It's 10, 11:30 for you, is it? Oh, he'd probably be up by now. This is making me warm to this deck, says Kristen. I'm glad it is a good deck. The images are lovely in it. The gifted deck. Shit, the chat jumped. She is next, the last for now, right? Okay, cool. And then there's saying that answers that question. Robin just looked in the mirror and scared myself. I shaved off my beard this morning and now I look years younger, but I have no chin. I'll look forward to when I next see you then, Robin. Wendy says you shaved off your chin too. I love craft humor. Yeah, we all want to see Robin's face now. Grey haze, hi folks, better late than ... It's lovely to see you, Grey haze. Malamir is saying hi to Diane, sorry. So that was Caroline's comment. Sorry guys, this must be really boring for you. Feel free to kind of talk among yourself. I really have to get some sort of musical interlude, don't I, for when I'm just doing this shit. Like, I would love to, you know how that. So I'm going to tell you this. keep it a secret. Like, don't put it on the internet or anything. But so see how during a wedding ceremony, you know how you get the bit where you sign the register, and usually there's a bit of nice music or something that happens. So we've got like a really nice song that we're going to play for the, for the duration of that song. But after that, we want to have, do you know the from Star Wars, the kind of Mos Eisley Cantina music, the we want to have that for when we're signing the register, just for a laugh. Thought it'd be quite funny. But yeah, I'd like to have something like that to entertain you for when I'm trying to navigate my way through the comments. Remind me what deck we're using. So the Lightseers. I thank all of this community for being there and giving me an outlet of peace. It's meant the world to me going through this. Well, it's always lovely to see you, Caroline. And can I just say, it means a lot to me, you being here as well, because you're so like you always say hi in the chats, but not like there's a lot of people that always say hi. You always say hi with this like real enthusiasm. Like I always feel as though you're happy to see me. Do you know what I mean? And that's really hard to translate across in typed word. So it is. So when I say that, I don't mean it in a way like, oh, no one else is happy to see me. That's not what I mean. I just mean you always come across with this like kind of energetic enthusiasm, and it's always really it gives me a really warm feeling. So it makes my heart smile. So thank you so much for being here. You have an almost Philly accent, says Justin Tivendi. Kristen says, holy crap, Chris, I was pulling cards while you were, and I pulled the 10 of Cups card for the first card. That's amazing. That was whose reading was that? Or was that? Oh, that was the one after Mendy, which I did pull the 10 of Cups for Ishi. So that's cool. He says, oh my god, thanks. I've even got it, just having a senior moment. I'll have to get it out again and maybe the deck. Rude jokes. It has been happily stagnant at work recently. That's good news for us all. Jan says, glad you're here, Malamir. Yeah, I'm glad Malamir's here as well. And by the way, one of the things that I wanted to say, next week, isn't it, Malamir? We are going to be doing a roundtable readings with our lovely Malamir, and I am going to have the honour of reading for Malamir with Malamir's own deck, the amazing Chakra Healing Tarot, which I've been using this week. I used it in Sit With Me for my spread. I used it during Robin's live on Monday when I was reading for people. It's amazing, and for someone who a couple of weeks ago didn't know, his root chakra from his third eye chakra, i.e. doesn't know his head from his arse, it's really kind of brought a lot into my readings, so it has. So thank you again so much for bringing this into my life, and I can't wait to go live with you. I think it's next week. Hope that I'm not fucking that off, because I'm sure we said it was when we were both off. We're both off work next week, aren't we? So yeah, that is next week, guys. That'll be my live next Thursday. We'll be doing a roundtable readings with a lovely Malamir. For such a little state, Maryland has a bunch of different accents, and I have a Baltimore accent smothered by hillbilly carol country. It's not pretty. I love your accent, Wendy. So I do. We weren't actually making fun of your accent. It was Justin said something. Justin said zone. He said he's in the zone, but he said I'm in the Zoom. And I says, that's the way Mendy says it. I says, where is that? Where is that? Like, what locality is that? That's the context for you. Laurie tries life is a way to make supper. That was probably like 10 minutes ago. Moving into statistics, so makes sense. 12 weeks in the first instance. Kristen says, Chris sits so still when reading the chat. I keep thinking he's freezing. Do I think I'm really fidgety. I think I'm such a fidgety person. Like, I'm always really conscious of like moving about and touching my face and doing all sorts of stuff. See, when I'm on like kind of Teams calls and work, I always have to, because my chair's dead creaky. It's actually not too bad today, but usually my chair's really creaky. When I'm live with other people, like on Monday, I was live with Robin and Gerald. I'm always conscious when the other people are speaking. I'm scared to move because my chair always does a big creak. Anyway, tangents. That could be another series, couldn't it? Chris's tangent. Catch up in the comments now. I was talking to a guy one night in DC. He owns a nightclub on the southwest side, I'll take it as. I said, you're from South Philly. He told me Baltimore, very close, Mendel. Malamir loves that Justin's into figuring out people's accents. Oh, Simon, now I have the Hairspray soundtrack earworming. Was that me that mentioned that, or was that someone else? Just so fascinated by accents. I think it's because everywhere I go, people ask about mine, so I got used to talking about it. Like, okay, fair enough. Best video of my son when he was 4 singing Good Morning Baltimore when he was playing with military tanks because he heard it so much from his sisters. I'm sure, is it Liam? No, is that Jade's son? Oh, doesn't matter. I'm sure your son just loves that you've got that video. Elevator music. Justin says, I don't have an accent, you all do. I wondered after I typed it whether anyone would know what I was referring to, so it was the Baltimore thing, Good Morning Baltimore. Are you going to invite us all to a live Zoom of your wedding? Probably not, Robin. I don't think I'll be Zooming my wedding. Although my brother did. My brother, I don't know if it was over Zoom. I think it was actually. He Zoomed his wedding because so as my gran could see. My gran couldn't get over to Northern Ireland to see it. So he Zoomed it and she got to watch. So that was nice. Always happy to see you, Chris, says Wendy. That's lovely. I'm always happy to see you too, Wendy. And we need to put our heads together and talk about when we're going live together, don't we? Because we talked about that. So that would be amazing. Carolyn says everyone means so much to her. Well, like I say, you mean so much to us too. Candy says you've got an amazing skill to make people feel seen. Hearing you talk, Caroline, you're doing it again. It's beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Candy. That's so kind of you to say, and it does mean a lot that you've said that because quite a lot of the time I worry that I'm missing comments and that I'm having to skip, you know. So it is really nice for you to say that, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that feedback, and it's nice to know. So thank you. Chris, among so many of you, are the light of my life, along with my cats. Thank you. Thank you very much, Kristen. You're welcome, lovely Carolyn. It is next week. Good, I didn't get my date wrong. How does one get to a round table? How do they qualify? All you need to do is message me in some way, Kristen. If you're interested, I should be saying this all the time. I'm rubbish at promoting it, but if anyone is interested in coming on with me and doing the roundtable reading, then just email me at elementalcartomancy@gmail.com. Or if you've got me on Facebook, just or in Glide or in some other way, shoot me a wee message. Send me a message. I would be delighted to have you on and to do the roundtable reading with you. I know, Hen, we still need to kind of pencil in a date, don't we? I think. Unless we didn't do one, did we? Gosh, now I'm questioning myself. I think Hen, we still need to pencil in a date, but after Malamere, it's just Hen that I'm aware of that's interested. And yeah, so I'd be delighted for anyone who would want to come on and do a roundtable reading with me. So no pressure, Chris, no pressure at all. I take it that was in relation to the Zoom with my wedding, Gerald. I'm still reviewing and digesting my roundtable reading. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Mendy. I'm really glad. Cool. You said to Kristen just there's quite a wait list. That's the best thing I've heard all day. Well, I'm glad. I take it that was in relation to me working with the Chakra Healing Tarot. It's next week. We're both off work. Randy says, don't know why that's not. Oh, Cartamany. That's not went on, but I know I was just giving Justin a hard time because that's my job as his big sister. I thought of that. Gerald says, my roundtable reading had so much depth to it. I'm still discovering things when I rewatch the video. That's amazing. I'm so glad. That's really nice to hear. I really appreciate all the feedback, guys. It is really nice to use. Because yeah, I'm not that used to doing big 10 card spreads, to be honest with you. It's not very often that I get to do them, so it's nice to know that it's nice to get that feedback. I really appreciate it. Gerald says, I'm already throwing money at my screen, wanting your deck. And it is Liam. Cool. Right, that's fine. I didn't misremember. Deanne says I'm good with names. Am I though? Am I, or do I just kind of? I don't know. Maybe I am. She knows. I think I've kind of done my readings. I can maybe swap myself around with rather than these just staring at this 8 of Cups. You find a happier card to just stare at, couldn't we? If we're going to do. That 10 of Swords has really kind of made a couple of appearances tonight, hasn't it? 8 of Wands, there we go. There's a nice energy starting. Okay, so the Philly accent is almost never in films. Kevin Bacon occasionally does it. He did it with the movie Sleepers. So, see, to me, to be honest with you, your accent, Justin, sounds like Brooklyn, New York. It kind of just sounds like that. Yeah, that's how it, I think anyway. It's maybe if you were to put you next, you were to be in a conversation with someone from Brooklyn, I've noticed the difference. But just to the kind of untrained ear, for me, that's what it sounds like. Yeah, Justin says he's going live on YouTube. I'm sure Sandy would love that. Kidding. How awesome would that be? I agree, Chris. We need to do it soon. I've been very distracted by other stuff and neglecting YouTube lately. Oh, don't worry, there's no rush. I'm not going anywhere, Mendy. Not that I'm aware of anyway. So just give me a shout, anything. This is a truly incredible memory. Wow, thanks. I'm gonna screenshot all these comments and show Sandy because he says my memory's terrible, and I get slagged off because my memory's so bad. So there you go. I woke up and totally forgot my own child was here. Chris has a truly incredible memory. I woke up and totally forgot my own child was here. Are those two comments related? Am I missing the boat? Is it bedtime? Is that basically what's happening there? Good job. He's not a baby anymore, Dion. We haven't picked a date yet. Right, cool. That's fine. Well, we can put one in the diary, and we should maybe. I'll try and remember and message you at some point over the weekend. It'd be nice to have a wee catch up. Actually, I'm conscious we don't really. I don't get as much hang time as what I want. Is basically what I'm saying. So let's have a wee catch up. Kristen has to go and start dinner. She says, Chris, you appear to remember at least 6 cards for over 10 people and sit with me. Oh, there you go. See, I'm good at remembering some things. I tend to be quite good with numbers. Like our claim number, our reference numbers in work are like 10-digit numbers. And I can tend to, if you tell me a reference number, I'll be able to recognise if it's one of mine or not. So I'm good at numbers. I suppose I'm quite good at spotting patterns. But there's some stuff I'm really terrible at remembering. Mendy's need to run. I think somebody else said that as well. I think Kristen said we're running, Mendy's running. It's probably getting to you guys' dinner time now, actually, yeah. So I'll be coming up for 6 for you. So yeah, I think we're coming to a natural, nice closing point, aren't we? I just want to kind of see if there's any other. Candy says she's keeping quiet as the Brummy in the house. Justin says he tones down his accent. Well, I want to hear it full whack. I want to hear your accent. I want you to talk to me like I'm one of your family and you're talking to, a fellow South Philly person. Fellow South Philadelphian. What is wrong with me today? He's been staying at his dad's morning, usually super early for work. He's an angel right now because he's still asleep. So I take it those two comments weren't related, Jen. Like, that was just, Chris has got a good memory. Also, I've just remembered that my son's here. My kids never let me forget the one time I forgot to pick Liam up from school when he was about 6. You abandon one kid and you're treated like a criminal. Right, I'm going backwards now. Simon says thanks, Chris. Speak soon. So we get to your bedtime as well, Simon. Robin and Chris. It's not just the numbers, but the card positions. For most all the time. I've been a subscriber here with Chris from the beginning. I think sometimes YouTube has a hiccup. This has happened before where I've not seen a notification. Thank you, Ashley. Right, guys, that's coming up. That's 5 to 11 here. So I'm going to try and be in my bed and start winding down. Working tomorrow, and then I'm off for the week. Saturday would have been my wedding day, hence the reason we took the next week off. Obviously, we had to postpone it because of COVID, so my wedding is now next January. So almost a year we've postponed by. So we're going to get a takeaway on Saturday, and we are going to. We've got like a wee afternoon tea thing being delivered next week on Wednesday. I think it's like a kind of takeaway thing. It's like afternoon tea with the the tower with the sandwiches and the cakes and all that. So that's really all we've got planned. I'm hoping I'm going to be able to film some stuff for YouTube because I've got some decks that I'm quite excited to talk about and walk through and stuff. So hoping I will, if not put out lots of YouTube content, I'll at least get to film lots of stuff. But yeah, got a full day of work tomorrow and then off to rest. So I can't wait. I'm going to be so excited to see you on Quarren stream tomorrow because that'll be the start of my big week off. So there we go. I shall love you all and leave you. Take care, everyone. Have an amazing weekend and a great week, and I'll see you all very, very soon.